Okay, so we're going to be curious about how we do feeding, energy. We're going to be curious about our level of ability to swap between passive and aggressive gameplay.
Alrighty.
So this is here. You communicate you're pushing this. You should get a bubble. You do. And you can commit to this. Great. But you have probably had to leave just a second ago, but that's okay. Yep. So if we sort of look at this just to get our timing right, let's just go through this one more time. We're here. We're here. We have our bubble. We properly transitioned from our bubble to our second bubble. This is great. But now our second bubble is effectively gone, and we don't really want to be staying here long enough to soak health, right? Because if we're staying here long enough to soak health, it's not going to be like, oh, we lose 100 health. It's going to be like we lose 300 health. That's just how it is. There's 3 people here, etc. It's not like you're going to get you don't really expect that you're going to get an elimination from this point, right? We've kind of done our job. We got our Zarya energy. We put pressure on these guys while our teams were doing stuff. This is sort of the bulk of your contribution right here in terms of tying them up. And to tie them up for another second, you're going to end up giving up like 250, 300 health. Do you agree with that conceptually?
That makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. So we've contributed most of what we're going to contribute. So now it's just like, nah, I'm going to leap out. I'm done. I'm going to go back here and then I'll tuck behind this corner. And that way in total, I'll have given up like 100 health instead of 300 health. And I can continue to re-threaten without my supports needing to immediately get back to me, etc. Yeah, so even before you got hooked there, let's pretend you didn't get hooked and let's pretend you got out. You're down to 260 and you're probably going to lose at least another 50 life getting out. So there we go. Okay.
Through the miracle of science. Excuse me for dying.
Yeah, you might be able to get her. I'm not too worried about that. This, of course, makes sense. As does this. And does he get you? Yeah, he gets you before your jump is back. Okay.
Through the miracle of science.
Objective lost. Stop the payload.
Step.
You didn't know there's bubble status. I'm not worried. You're doing interesting. I like protecting your Zarya getting out. What I don't like is that you're committing the leap for this. So this makes sense to me, but I turn and look at this and I kind of go, hey, there's 2 real options. Either there's the I'm going to walk forward and drop my bubble, and if I walk forward like 2 steps and drop my bubble, it's going to roughly go to here, and my Zarya will be back within it within like a step, and we're okay. Or I sort of do a shallow leap to drop my bubble. But it looks like you're going for the deep leap here. Let's take a look. Like, I know we're not taking down this hog. I know you don't think we're taking down this hog. We're not effectively blocking this hog out. Like, yes, we're blocking the Ana from being able to heal this hog conceptually, but like, why is this deeper bubble better than a shallow bubble?
Why is it better?
Well, I'm just kind of asking, like, why did we...
Oh. Maybe the bubble wasn't needed, but I definitely knew I jumped in the way just so Zarya didn't get hit twice.
Oh, I actually like the bubble, but I actually think that this is a case of, like, the bubble should be here as opposed to here. And you did a medium distance jump instead of a short jump. That's more what I'm in. I'm in the, like, yes, you had to use your bubble, you had to protect your Zarya as best you could, but I actually wanted your bubble to be more like, instead of where you put it, which is here, I wanted it to be more like, oh, I'm sorry, you can't see when I draw like that, so that doesn't work. I wanted the bubble to be more like, I wanted this to be the front of the bubble, not the back of the bubble.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean.
I just don't see a reason to go this far. I don't care about landing on the hog. Landing on the hog, getting any sort of landing damage, turning him, none of that seems valuable to me. It seems like, hey, I want my bubble here, because yes, it's not how we like to use our bubble, but it's right to use our bubble to help our Zarya here. But I want us to be able to get around the corner pretty quickly. Because I look at you and go, you've committed yourself pretty deep to help get your Zarya out here, and I don't think it's necessary. I think all you wanted was the bubble. If you have to use leap to get off the bubble, so be it, but it should at least be a shallow leap so that you're not here. I don't like you here.
Okay.
Double kill.
They back off and it works. So, hey.
Damage output increased.
Battery's almost ready.
Enemy contact. I want to hug you like this. My ultimate is ready.
I dropped here thinking that Zarya's gonna give me a bubble.
Okay. Got it. That's fine. You dropped here expecting the bubble, and you dropped in front of them again because you were expecting bubble. If you weren't getting the bubble, you'd usually drop behind, and that's totally fine because, again, you're expecting the bubble. I'm surprised you didn't get it, and at this point you give up, and you're going to get forced to primal. But this isn't a terrible place to primal. No, you're just going to leave. Okay.
Splashdown. Bad guy.
You want the cart, your Anna's there. No, we just don't get to touch the cart. Oh, but they already are going in hard here. Okay, you're going to do it. I'm understanding why you're doing it. That's fine.
Feeling powerful. That's enemy re-engaging.
Good.
Coming through.
It's nice when they just gift themselves to you like that. But, you know, one for one. Speaking of gifting. I like the idea. You now have a hog rather than a Zarya, so your playstyle is converted back to this. Hmm. So the Mercy definitely knows you're here, which means your team should know you're here. Your team is in play. We're in relatively balanced situations, and this is a place that your team can follow. Yeah, I'm fine. And you decide that you want the Mercy rather than the Anna, which I do understand. Yeah, okay. I mean, should we have bubbled here? The answer is probably. Yeah. So the way I'm thinking about this is we are going through this and we're doing our little dance with Mercy. And our little dance with Mercy is, hey, you know where she has to go because this is one of those nice situations where she doesn't have a lot of different directions she can go to. She's only got one Guardian Angel thing. You're aware of that, so you're between her and the Guardian Angel thing. You pressure her without leap, and then you're following with leap. But this seems to me like it should have been an automatic bubble as you're even landing here because you know now that you've got the Mercy, right? There's nowhere for the Mercy to go, so you're kind of committed to this spot, and we do have the Anna to respect. Like, this sleep isn't a surprise in any way. So, like, you couldn't afford to spend your bubble here because you knew where the Mercy was going to go, but this is a case of, hey, of course the Anna's going to try to sleep me here. I can be blocking it, etc. Now, it might not have worked, but I'm a little surprised that we didn't put a bubble down here.
Lights out.
It's fine. And now you can take the Anna. What's this bubble for?
Grenade.
Okay, to deny the nade, to deny you turning purple.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just not really worried about that anymore. Are you?
In a sense, yes.
Okay, because you're worried that something's going to round the corner and have more poke. Because the Genji's not going to
Yeah.
take you. Go ahead.
Basically, what you said.
Okay.
Someone's going around the corner to get more focus.
Okay.
They have a hog now.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh, he's over there.
Build up.
I mean, this did anchor you. Dropping this bubble did anchor you, so you couldn't continue to pursue. It didn't really deny any heals to the Genji. It probably denied the Anna shooting you once, but not really, because she wanted to shoot her Genji anyways, and now you can't pursue further. So I'm gonna be honest, like, you were already looking in this direction. If a hog peeks the corner, or a Hanzo peeks the corner, or something like this, you've still got your bubble then, right? That you can drop where, like, oh, there's a hog, rounding this corner, I'm instantly gonna bubble. Oh, there's a Hanzo rounding this corner, I'm instantly gonna bubble. And I'm just not too worried about that. Like, yes, the hog's over here, and I suppose the hog could come back and you wouldn't see, etc. But I'm looking at this and going, the Genji's really, the longer you can delay your bubble in these situations where you're going for the elimination as opposed to when you're going for pressure, the more, like, the further you get your leash, because you're leashed to the center of this bubble, and you potentially were in a situation to follow and eliminate this Anna if you held this bubble a little more tightly. Like,
Okay.
it's I'm definitely getting nitpicky here, but it's sort of the difference of, we never expected to get an elimination when we did our double bubble thing here. There was 3 people. We were just pressuring them. We knew we were just pressuring them. If we get an elimination, great. But that determined our cycle of how we used stuff. Whereas here, this Anna's used sleep. We know we're jumping on an Anna that's used sleep. Yes, she's still got nade, but because she still has nade, that means it's still going to take us a little bit of time to eliminate her. So she's going to be able to survive for longer and cover more distance, etc. So we kind of want to be able to go, hey, if you hit me with the nade, that's not the end of the world. I can still then bubble. I can still in 2 seconds leap out, etc. Or I can go leap on top of you again, bubble, etc. Or I can follow, bubble, etc. Like, I think there was room for you to get this elimination if you go, that's good. If you go,
And
hey,
just wait a couple of seconds.
right, you just wait a couple seconds, because this Genji, like, yes, this Genji is going to hurt you. This Genji is going to be annoying, but this bubble isn't meaningfully helping you against this Genji. You don't have the proper distance to do that. You want to be able to continue to follow this Anna.
Get them off me. The battle continues.
That's fine. Baby jump. Right idea. And you're just writing them off? Probably, but let's take a look. So the Nano's going in. You definitely don't want to go aggressive here. You want to peel if anything. And it's already gotten 2 done. And now you guys are committing the whole hog. Okay. Yeah, okay, fine.
This will protect us.
Okay. Ooh.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Reinhardt at your service. Re-engaging.
This will help. That's it. Team Valhalla.
Okay. It's hard in the stairs. Sending the hog back. Fine.
That were done with too early.
Yeah, it was. I know. It's a good one there, though. And you have a fresh bubble, which you're gonna try, and it just doesn't work. Okay. And the first jump, I assume, at the beginning of the primal, was that because, hey, that was the right distance you felt you needed to go high to kill the right distance to get the land on the Hanzo? Or was this because you were hoping to get eyeballs to leave you? What I'm referring to is this one right here.
So I wanted to use his leap. I've been practicing on his leap a lot,
Mhm.
and I know like when I do this leap, I can go for a 5-hit kill
Okay.
if they're not being pocketed by Mercy. But I think I messed it up here.
Okay, not a big deal. I mean, the stairs makes it hard, so I'm not super... Yeah, that was good. And then you got the door frame that makes it a little challenging. Yeah, you tried to contain him on the wall. I mean, it was certainly better than what we saw last week for your primal.
Der Kampf ist noch nicht vorbei.
Feels like I have the bends.
Good. Ooh.
Feeling powerful, and I'm not even angry.
Good judgment. Gonna get micro. Did you have a better decision to make there? Leaving is right. Probably better to go this way, but we're definitely using hindsight. Nah, forget it.
Through the miracle of science.
60 seconds remaining.
Why entry from this way rather than going behind?
I think I wanted to get the bubble to have my Reinhardt swing freely.
That's, I mean, that's okay. It's a lot less impactful against Anna than it is against Zen. Like when they have Zen, that's a more valuable play. When they have Anna, it's still got some value. Hey, you're blocking their Ryan from getting heals from their Anna if he's in it. Hey, your Ryan can't get naded if he's in it, so he can swing a little more mindlessly. But your Ryan, even if he's swinging, can pretty easily go, oh, let me block a nade real quick, etc. Whereas he can't do that with the Discord. There's just nothing he can do. So again, you get a little more value if you're denying heals, etc. But that's kind of got to be pretty coordinated. Like if you're dropping here, this Reinhardt might be low enough to finish off if your whole team was on this Reinhardt. Here, let's rewind a touch to when you're actually dropping, because at this point, isn't when you made the decision. Okay, so you might not have been able to see as much, but even when you were making the decision, like this guy was here at best, he definitely wasn't here, and your Ryan was backing up. So I'm looking at this and going, if we're going to try to finish a full health Reinhardt, or if we're going to try to finish a Reinhardt before he can back out of your bubble, because that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to go, hey, this is a play of we're going to drop our bubble, and then this Reinhardt has to back all the way out of his bubble before our Anna can heal him again. So we want to make this play on him when he's already missing some health. And this is good. He's already missing some health. This, from a health situation, is potentially the right time to do it, etc. The problem is, from a positioning standpoint, your team can't do this yet. Like your team isn't going to be able to follow up on it, and most importantly, your Rhine isn't here, etc., to be doing it. Does that make sense?
Makes sense, yeah.
Cool.
Step right up.
Now you have to go this way just based on the timing of the fight. Yep.
Thank you.
Team kill. 30 seconds remaining.
Dein Schutzengel ist da.
Till Valhalla. وريهم قوتك.
Did we... Okay, their Anna just went down. Perfect. There's one here. You're doing it. That's a nice double hit.
Schutzengel ist da.
That's a single.
10 seconds remaining.
Do you really have no one here? That's just so sad. Okay. I guess I can't be mad. I'm just sad. I'm sure you were sad too. I'm like, but
Yeah,
there's
okay,
two
you
free
double kill.
eliminations right here. You can have both of them. And no. All good.
Unlucky.
It's early.
A bit forward.
Yeah, and you get it. This is the same thing of, again, your bubble is sort of a leash, and you've made your leash really shallow at this point, which, that's fine.
You're powered up.
This Anna's trolling you, man. Like, this Anna. That said, do we even want the Rhine? Like, I'm looking at this.
Powerful.
Okay, you don't get your leaf back until now anyways.
Barrier
Okay, so we've seen some shallow bubbles. We've seen, what we talked about at the very beginning of the match in terms of, hey, you've gotten most of your
Switching
disruption value. If you've gotten most of your disruption value, it's not worth spending 300 health for the extra second, etc. But we haven't seen, we're not seeing anything huge, and I don't expect we're going to find too many huge things with your game anymore. We were seeing better aggression, though I think that was part of the comp. I'm still looking in your ability to sort of switch between the two.
incoming.
Okay.
Watching your back. Be careful.
Yeah, okay. What was this bubble for?
I got discorded, so I didn't want to get hit by anyone else also across the way.
Okay. I'm critical, but okay. Yes. 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 No. You with me?
I was not killing that Reaper anytime. Yeah, I was not gonna kill that Reaper anytime soon. I
You
probably
weren't
would've
going to eliminate
lost.
that Reaper anytime soon, and you have no way out if he actually turns. Like, if he actually turns, you're gone. Whereas if he actually turned when you were a step back, that's fine. Like, okay, yes, maybe the Reinhardt can get you, et cetera, but I'm saying from a your ability to stay alive type situation.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Splashdown.
Fine.
Activated.
Beautiful. You're going to go for the Mega? You're going to go for the Mega?
Same thing. I thought the same thing. I looked back at this gameplay. I was like, I should have won.
Yeah, all good. All good.
Feels like I have the bends.
Why do I not like that you're repeaking this right now?
Cause Discord.
Well, you're just getting discorded, so that's not like the end of the world to me. What I'm actually more concerned about is, like, if you get discorded to rotate somewhere, I'll live with it. My bigger issue is actually that I see where your Sombra is, and I don't want them to hit Sombra with spam that's meant for you. I want you to
Okay.
keep this closed so that they'll stop firing so that Sombra can safely get in. Because that shot could have easily hit Sombra, and that would have just been like, whoops, you gave your Sombra away.
Fair enough.
I'd prefer to just chill here as opposed to going in. Like, yeah, that landing damage isn't worth... That landing damage with what's there just isn't worth as much as having the high ground where you can continue to threaten, continue to be annoying, etc.
I didn't expect her to nano me there.
Yeah, no,
I
I'm
was
actually
not
not worried about that. What I'm worried about is... So, I see the Moira, but I also see that you've got half health, no bubble, and you're using your leap, and you're going in. And this is a little sort of, I'm not used to this from you, where I'm sort of going, hey, if this Moira isn't missing a bunch of health for you to just pick up the elimination, you've gone into a fight you can't get out of, you've used your leap to engage, and you don't have your bubble, and it's not particularly juicy. Like, your leap could have just as easily ended you here, and you could have been annoying from up here for a couple seconds till bubble's back, or until your leap cooldown is halfway back, or something. Like, trying to get the extra landing damage here, when it's not like, hey, I'm doing a follow-up on my Pharah hit a direct, my soldier got someone low, etc. We're doing a coordinated dive. This hard dive into a cluster of enemies without your cooldowns and when you're at half health is unusual. It's wrong, is what I'm saying. Like, it's the sort of thing that I was going here, where I'm like, I expected you to take this high ground, because you can interact with them plenty from this high ground. Remember, you don't need to get the elimination, though it's great if you do. Your job is to be, how long can I stay top of mind for you? How annoying can I be? How much can I pressure you into a situation where maybe my Anna's going to finish you off, etc.? Or sure, if she hits a nade, then I'll drop and go get you, etc. Right?
Okay.
Okay. He knows. I actually think... This I don't mind. He's using his ult to go back. You go here. Did you see where the Reinhardt went?
No.
Okay. Now you can see him, but you don't have time anymore. It's fine. Okay. Yeah.
I think at this point I just switch.
Yeah, that's fine.
Allow me to repair the damage.
I really think all that's gone wrong with this engagement was that you committed too hard when, soft dives would have done it. Positioning dives that you then get to pressure from, both onto the Zen there and then onto the Rhine Moira here, would have done the job. Like, yes, the fight was kind of over when you went for this one, but I think, that's why this feels bad. And if now we're going ball? Okay.
Yes.
Top speed reached.
My ultimate is ready to be unleashed.
Repairing.
My word.
Let's go back. This makes sense to me. I'm a little surprised that you're at the Sigma rather than continuing to chip at the Hanzo here, but maybe you're trying to hope the Hanzo will forget about you so that you get a window to go boop him. He's clearly not forgetting about you. I get it. You're in this like, hey, I want to put the pressure on the target that's being hacked on this. I just don't like it. Like, this Hanzo is kind of unrestrained, right? And it turns out we could have had this Hanzo probably eliminated now if we'd been, hey, I'm going to swing into this Hanzo, etc., etc. This Hanzo is so much more dangerous than this Sigma that I'd have liked you to go after this Hanzo.
Okay.
Yeah.
System repaired.
Go.
I see us here.
I'll keep you healed.
Group up.
Beacon
60 seconds remaining.
Okay. You know that you can just unshift for that one, but maybe you thought you were going to get her. Incredible. Your teams may be thinking about being relevant any day now.
30 seconds.
That's a gutsy Reinhardt.
I used to my
No more
advantage
time
at
to
least.
waste.
What's
Let's
that?
get this done.
I used to my advantage at least.
Yeah, no, I'm not opposed to it. I'm just surprised he did it, period, quite frankly, because, like, coming out here when there's a ball on the map is just scary. But, hey, he's got pin. I get why he thinks he can do it. You do that. Beautiful. That was probably a continue your loop thing. This is good, but you almost certainly want to go back, right? So you want to ride this tether a bit further to sort of pick up a little more speed, because you want to slingshot your way back a little. You can't totally do it. You're going to have to let go before you've wrapped around the car, but you did want to build a little more speed here to go back towards this, because I expect we want to go back. Yeah, your Ryan's on the cart. Beautiful. Unfortunate. And of course we're gonna spend it.
Destroyed.
Does he have any sources of... not really. just a little further here.
Combat mode
It's
engaged.
just after. No, that's right before the lift. This is fine. I know what we want. We don't get it. That's fine. Your Rhine is now backing off. Yeah, with your Rhine backing off, you backing off is appropriate. I don't like that your Sombra did that. I really don't like it, and it's sort of baiting you into going in here. The issue is, I get it. I get why you're doing it. We just hit an EMP. We have to be going. You're unfortunately faster than your team. Just a side effect. I think what I want here, I know what I want here. Okay, so we're here. We popped our adaptive shield. What should you have done instead? If anything, maybe what you did was right. I don't think so, but like, do you think, hey,
Roll away, not towards my team.
exactly. Like, even if you just go, hey, I am going to use this to go over here and be a little more annoying from here, respecting the Briggs, etc. Or, hey, I'm now going to roll past you guys and try to go here and be annoying over here. I don't think you want to go through here through the Sigma, though you could justify it. You could go, hey, I'm going to go over here. I have my health pack, etc. But yes, I don't like you going back through to your team. I would like them to have to continue to pay some attention to you, but you are pretty quickly going to need an available sightline cover, etc. So yes, that would
Okay.
be the preference. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it makes them dragon too easy, all that jazz.
Group up with me. System restored.
Payload's on its way.
It's gonna be beautiful once your team is ready. It's gonna be beautiful. Roll around the outside, roll back in for the mines after the bash.
Kill the Mahol.
Okay.
Seconds remaining.
I'm escorting the payload. Let's keep it moving. Full speed.
Good.
Impact area.
This is a little higher risk. No, it's fine. Your tire's going. I'm going to take that back.
This is not the time.
30 seconds remaining.
We're almost out of time. No slacking now.
Nada mal.
10 seconds.
See, I didn't hear him charge away.
Okay.
I thought that was their Ryan.
Okay. Got it. So you're trying to peel for your Reinhardt? Okay.
Yes.
Get into position.
Navigating.
Now I'm just being
Navigating.
my minor, but this is the sort of thing where you just, you cross through it and hop up, etc. Like you just grab the
Okay.
health back. It's not a big deal because you're gonna want both. One isn't gonna be enough. I mean, one is enough. You can still take the engage with one. Oh, you don't want either. Okay, fine. What's armor? Armor doesn't matter. Okay, so your team is reasonably lined up. They're a little further out than we'd like, but an extra half second grabbing 2 health packs certainly wouldn't have hurt us. Would have actually made our timing a little better. And we're going for this. You wanted to knock the Sigma in eyes? Or you wanted to knock the Sigma?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right idea. Leave. I was wondering if you just didn't believe in health packs, so good to know. Good to know. He's not the target anymore, the Briggs is.
The payload is approaching its destination.
Greetings.
Okay.
10 seconds remaining.
Clock ticking. Attack! Attack!
We can micro this out to probably get you minefield. Not that it's a big deal. You've got everything. You have to touch for overtime here. Yeah, I'd have to go back further to micro it out. Okay, that probably doesn't make sense. Okay, so looking back at this, we of course pointed out a couple things in terms of big things for you to work on. We're kind of past our big things. We're getting into pretty micro, and that's good. But we're going to keep still finding smaller and smaller things because that's how we drive this. So we talked about, hey, what your bubbles should look like when it's, hey, I'm just relieving pressure, etc. We saw improvement on your primals, which we were definitely, hey, that was good to see, etc. The fruits of your practice since the last session was definitely visible there, even if we turned off and didn't go for the Hanzo Mercy eliminations on the one on third there. Yes. Um, what else did we see? I'm just trying to categorize in my mind because we don't have huge patterns here. We saw. 1 second. We saw the primals, we talked about the bubble, we talked about how to manage the bubble, we had the shorter bubble, but that's not a pattern, I don't care about that one. That's the definition of a one-off with the hog when you were bailing out your Zarya. There was something else on Winston that'll probably come back to me. When we get onto your ball, there's a little bit of, hey, you just popped a big adaptive shield, make sure you go take an angle. I can see that's mostly there. Like, I can see that is very much mostly there, but make sure we've, finished reinforcing that, ironing out, hey, the ones of those that are missing. We had a really weird engagement timing, but that, you thought your Reinhardt was leaving, and we had some of the, hey, take the extra half second for a health pack in a lot of these situations. Like getting your armor back. Armor is still a pretty big deal in this game. Getting back into the armor threshold can really help reduce the damage you're taking, let you do a little more with your stuff, etc. So again, I'm not seeing anything where I'm like, oh my god, this is critical, this is breaking it. Honestly, this game was tough because you had some things like your Zarya going, nah, you don't need this bubble now, blah blah blah, and some things like, hey, your nano's repeatedly nanoing you after you've jumped out, etc. Or you've primaled, now's a great time to nano you, etc. Like, again, blaming your teammates isn't constructive, so that's not what I'm doing. I'm just saying you played a pretty good game here. There's nothing overwhelming. It is, hey, we've got to start fixing some of these micro judgments. And again, the easiest thing to understand the easiest concept to understand, even though we only saw it once or twice, for hey, this is value, is going to be let's make sure when we're doing these pressure jumps that we're getting out with a lot of health, unless we think there's a lot to be doing there. And then, oh, that was the other thing on Monkey. And then remember, your bubble is a leash. So your bubble is a leash. So if you're not worried about the sleep dart anymore, if you don't have a specific ability you need to block, be it sleep dart, flashbang, etc. You want to try to greed your bubble a little more if you are going for the elimination. So if you're going for, hey, I'm relieving pressure from my team, it's that earlier bubble. The bubble's going to take some damage. I'm just relieving pressure. I'm just maintaining this, etc. If you're going for the elimination, it's going to be the harder core. Hey, let me try and greed my bubble, hold it late, etc., and then drop it sort of as late as I can because that let me follow you the furthest, etc. Assuming we've already seen the flashbang, etc. And then the other
Okay.
thing was going to be this, which I am going to see because we did see it multiple times, where again, totally fine, especially if you don't have your bubble, to just jump onto the high ground above them and annoy them, especially if you still have other damage dealers and tanks alive that can do work. It's totally fine for you to be pressure. And same thing in this direction, where it's like we're not going in. We're just not going in without our cooldowns unless we know that target. We're not using our leap to go in when we're also missing health and down a bubble, unless we absolutely know that we're going to get the elimination by landing on that target and we're like immediately going to get it, because the best that can be is a trade, right? Like we really would
Okay.
just prefer to go, hey, I'm going to go up here and I'm going to do some zap work from up here and it's going to be great, etc. So like I know I told you last week, hey, I want to see some more mixed in aggression, etc. And I do, and I saw that aggression this time, and that's good. So now it's going to be a hey, calibrated as the comps change, calibrated when the comps are similar, etc. Like that just didn't apply here. There was no reason to be passive because there was no divers or anything to peel. But we do want this. Remember, if I can jump above you and zap one or two people and then close the angle, that's just as good. Just like, hey, I'm going to jump over here and kind of pressure you guys a little bit, etc., and then I'm going to leave. I'm going to jump over here. I'm going to do damage to you, and then you still have to remember I'm here, etc. And I know you sort of know this. That's why I was surprised to see this. I don't think this is your usual gameplay. I don't know if this is the result of me saying the aggression thing yesterday, but this was wrong. So the biggest things were this, I'd say, and then you should know this with the ball stuff. Get a little more health packs. Make sure that when you do pop that adaptive shield, you take the angle. You mostly do, etc. Do you have any questions? Anything you want to get into?
So far, no, I don't have any questions.
Okay. Okay. I think that's probably what I've got for this one. Yeah, I don't really have anything where I'd go, hey, this is the big thing, etc. And we've talked about this before. You're not currently scrimming. You were working on yourself. We've seen some improvement there. How's the SR doing? Has that been moving or has that been pretty flat?
Um, I'd say I think like a couple of days ago I broke the 3100 field. I think I peaked 3139,
Okay.
and then I just been flat ever since. But I never went past 3000.
Okay.
Like I've stayed 3000 above.
Good. Good. I'm glad to hear that. You've got we see your monkey, we see how that's working, etc. We see your ball. We can do some stuff to charge up minefield a little faster to try to carry some of these games, etc. But we're not looking at anything huge in terms of what we're doing here, where this is everything, this is going to swing it, etc. So I think that's what we've got for this session.
Okay, that's fine. Perfect.
Cool. Cool.
Thank you so much.